Oh, we got the camera rolling. It's too early. Nebraska bound. New territory for me. Has Curtis been to Nebraska?
No.
Me and Curtis, first trip to Nebraska. Connor and Tyson's gonna show us how it's done, I guess.
My name is Connor Mobley, and this is a story of small town kids. We grew up together, we graduated high school together, and now we are trying to figure out what life has in store for the next chapter. Follow us as I film our adventures and chase new experiences this season on the road. On this episode, I'm tagging along with my brother Curtis, Cole McBride, and Tyson, and we're headed to Nebraska to chase mule deer. So we had a couple hiccups early in the drive, but after we got those out of the way, it was smooth sailing all the way out there.
What's going on
I've never
here?
had that happen before in my life. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's too early.
Do you think that's the wrong size call?
What? Home for the next few days.
Slush, welcome to my crib.
That's it. That's a long day.
It's time to go.
Yeah?
It is.
You've been complaining about being in the truck all day.
Yeah, I'm driving now.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, I am.
I drove 12. Not 12. I drove probably.
So you're done driving? I don't know what's making that noise. What else do we need?
So after we got everything unpacked, we headed out for the evening to scout, and we went to some places that we knew there would be deer at.
There, and they seen us, they ran around, and they came back.
So that's the red barn. That's the fence you guys were set up in.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaking big. Nope.
So oftentimes when we're out west, we're able to knock on landowners' doors, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And in this case, it didn't work. Cole went up to the door, a lady answered, and she was nice as could be, but we did not get permission on this spot.
It's getting cold out, calm man.
Ooh, how hot do you like it?
I like mine crispy.
Some pizza rolls. Great value.
Large. I'll get you right.
Get you right in the head.
Howdy. Day one, Nebraska. 44 degrees. We have till about 9 a.m. because it's going to start raining. So.
The next morning, we decided to head out to another place where Tyson knew where some deer were. And so we headed out, and we immediately started seeing deer that morning.
Weird stuff at the end, but it's different. Big sport.
4. North wind's hitting different this morning. We ain't had one of these in a while.
Easy to kill.
There's like a bunch of does down here in between us and the bucks. So. I mean, this is crazy. You can see it like blowing with the fog. The truck is caked.
So we only had a small window to hunt the first morning before the weather moved in. And when it did, it brought wind, rain, and fog, and pretty heavy. We had to get off the dirt because we didn't want to get stuck back in the middle of nowhere. And out there, you don't see a lot of people, so we had to get back on the good roads and make sure we were able to make it back to the hotel that night. 4 guys sleeping in a truck together, oh, that would have been, I don't know. I'd say we would have figured out a way to get out.
Chili for supper. Roughing it in the motel. Not the hotel, the motel.
What, the mud or the wind?
Oh, wind.
And the mud.
I mean, the mud's pretty impressive too.
We may
Give us an
slide.
update, Cole or Kurt.
We may slide into a tree.
Well,
That hard cart.
we can't get through here. You can tell it's a little rough. So we're backing out. We got, I don't know, a little ways in there and decided it probably wasn't worth being stuck back here all day because nobody ever drives these roads or anything. We're out in the middle of nowhere. So we're headed back for better roads. I don't know what's gonna play out, but it's nasty out.
We're all kind of the same, but all kind of different. Some of us are a little more serious when it comes to being on trips and trying to find animals and hunting and whatnot. And some of us like to play around a little more. But it's always, that's what makes it fun. All those personalities there on the trip, it keeps things interesting for sure.
Woo! No saw needed. Nice work.
Let's get it.
So we just got back out here. It's blowing real hard, about 30, 40. Trying to get down in some meadows and hollers. Try to stalk one up, see if we can't find one. It's real windy out in the open. We don't think they'll be out there. We don't want to be out there. So we're just gonna see what happens.
Meadows back over there.
Such a cool experience when you're, spotting stalking a big game like that, and you actually are able to get close to them and they don't know you're there. It's a whole nother experience, unlike sitting in a tree stand here at home or, ground blind.
So we just walked up on a couple deer. We just walked up on 4 does feeding down this little valley. We got up on them, glassed them all. They were all does, but we're gonna keep walking. We're bound to get into bucks soon, and wind's dying down just a hair. The sun may pop out. It's getting a little clear, so hopefully that happens and we can get one out in the open and put a shot on him.
I think a lot of people are intimidated by public land, thinking they're going to drive hours and have to be hunting next to some other guy from a totally different state. I think we were all very surprised at the lack of other hunters we saw out there at this time. It was the middle of the week archery season, but I figured we would see some people. But we were kind of the only people hunting this area.
So we just spotted a nice group of muleys over a hill about 500 yards. We glassed them all out. We think there's a couple bucks there. We for sure know there's a nice 2-point, and it's gonna be a tough stalk. We've really got to try to get low, and there's not a lot of areas that's not too steep to get low enough. The sun's right in us, but the wind should work in our favor. We're gonna try to cut them off and get over there and hopefully get close enough to make a shot on them.
We hadn't made it very far. We jumped a coyote, and he was just as surprised to see us as we were to see him. And unfortunately, he turned around and headed straight for that group of deer that we were making a move on.
Well, it's been fun. Last night here, we seen quite a few mule deer, a couple good bucks, just couldn't get in bow range. It's been a fun trip. We didn't kill anything, but we learned from it. We'll come back, know a little more what to do next time, and see what we can do again on the road, the next road.
being able to film my buddies while we're on these hunting trips it's just really fun, and I think we all have a good time doing it. I think they have a good time in front of the camera, and I have a good time behind the camera. So it makes the trips more memorable when we have something to come back and look at when we're done.